that they were given that space is so that the executive does not overreach. During my vetting, Honorable Speaker, I was even accused of not having a good relationship with them, which is not true. I was also accused to want to take their mandate through some amendments we had proposed. What I am the one who is saying the Senate is giving me or requesting the information from the wrong person, and there is another route that the Senate can get the same information, and I am not directing how this work should be done. All I'm saying is that, let me finish, because you know you will not force me to give information. I would rather that the first priority is given to the owners of the information, Speaker. So
you cannot put a point of order again as a CS on the vote, unless you want clarification and intervention. Yes, Senator Sifuna.
Chair, I'm a bit surprised because CS is a former member of this House. She knows very well that once a ruling has been made by the chair, she cannot argue with the decision of the chair. And therefore, I know you said I cannot raise on a point of order, but she's totally out of order. You have made a decision that we, in this House, interact with the head of the ministry. Whatever arrangements she has with the National Land Commission on how to source information, that is none of our business. The person who will appear there to answer is the Cabinet Secretary responsible for matters of land. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Bony.
For the record, let it reflect that the Minister of Lands, who is my friend, is actually an advocate. And she's conversant with the Constitution of Kenya. Could she fall back to the provision of Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya that will help her to access the information that we are looking for, and then climb down a little bit, Mr. Speaker, and subject herself to being answerable to this House? Minister, as a senior member of government, equally because I'm also a senior member of government, we are expected to make it easy for government to deliver. And therefore, when either the Speaker or could the Minister clarify what she is defending? All we want is information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I propose that you direct the Minister to go back and come back with a proper question, nothing less.
Now, Honorable CS, I think I've already made a determination on this matter. Now, just have your seat, Honorable CS. Just have your seat. We want to help you navigate this matter. Now, you did very well, because immediately you got the question, you wrote to NLC to provide the information, to provide you with the information that is required by Parliament. But NLC has not responded to your letter. Had they responded to your letter, today you'll be giving us that information. So don't take a blame where you know the person to really blame. Because one, you did the right thing. You got this question from the Senate. You wrote to NLC for NLC to provide the necessary information and respond to the question. NLC decided not to. Now, as a Senate, this is what we have advised you, that you're not meddling in the affairs of NLC by seeking this information from NLC. And NLC, if you are
question, then join that meeting.
Trevor, we'll move to question number, that is question number 098, Honorable CS. You may proceed to ask the question.
Most appreciated, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, could the Cabinet Secretary disclose the current holders of the title deeds for the parcels of land in Kamukunji constituency registered as follows? Number 1, IR number 36/VII/1031, on which the Isili Social Hall stands. Number 2, LR number 36/V11/1031, bracket 619/33, which was designated for use as the Isili Open Air Market. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, LR number 2. (9/12/2)
Proceed to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question is in in 3 parts, and then the answer that I'm providing this morning, Honorable Speaker, is that in regard to question 5.1 and 5.2, I request for more time to be able to provide a comprehensive response, because I cannot find some of my records. So I'm not able to bring the information. I need more time. I have already assigned the relevant department to comb through all our records to see whether we can get the necessary files. Then we have number 3, Roman 3. I wish to respond as follows. I think I have given a long statement there. Certificate title number IR LR 209/1712, original number 1042 and 1041, being a portion of the premises comprised in a grant dated 21st of May 1929, is located in the city of Nairobi, measuring approximately 0.34436 of an acre, for a term expiring on 1st of August 2024, and for a minimum, for an annual rent of the amount stated there, 720, and we've given an extra 5 a copy of that title. The land was initially registered in favor of John Herbert Turner on March 1, 1929. The registered proprietor charged the property, and a charge instrument was registered on 2nd of December 1930. Later, on 11th of May 1931, the property was discharged and a transfer was registered in the name of Ferdinandis, and an extra 4 speaks to that transfer. Honorable Speaker, on 27th of January 1933, this property was transferred to Kenya Loan and Discount Limited for a consideration amount of 10,000, but that was in 1933. Thereafter, October 23rd, 1942, a transfer via the public auction of said property to Alan Rakea and Mohammed Sharif, both sons of Nizam Din of Nairobi, and Firoz Din and Azin Din, both sons of Haji Faten Din of Nairobi, as tenants in common in shares. Annexure 5 has the transfer by public auction and, as evidence. Honorable Speaker, then on 26th of November 1996, a decree by the civil case number 3279 of 1994 originating summons was registered against the title, and on November 17th, again 1997, a vesting order or transfer was registered transferring this land to Shauri Moyo Furniture Makers Cooperative Society, freed from all encumbrances, and Annexure 6 speaks to that court order. Subsequently, then a provisional certificate of title was issued in favor of the Cooperative Society, Shauri Moyo Furniture Makers Cooperative Society Limited, in 1998, 14th of May. Honorable Speaker, then on 22nd of May 2002, another vesting order was issued transferring the land to several persons, that is Francis Garoya Joroge, Stephen Joroge Irongo, Josephat Mutuku Musembi, Stephen Mwangi Kemani, and Stephen Kamau Muchiri as trustees for themselves and the other plaintiffs as tenants in common in equal shares. And we have also attached Annexure 7, being the court order. Several other court orders were registered, emanating from the same suit up to and including 9th of March 2015, restraining order and prohibiting all dealings. And that order is dated 23rd of October 2019, sorry. And then, and this was registered against the same title. Honorable Speaker, on May 25th of March, on May 25th, 2022, for a consideration of 130 million, this land was transferred to Mirage Supply and Contractors Limited. And since then, this property has not changed hands. My record shows that it is currently in the name of Mirage, and I think unless there is any other question, that question is fully answered.
Honorable Sifuna.
CS, with regards to the first two parts of my question, you have indicated that you need more time. Perhaps you could just how much. Now, Chair, I have a follow-up. Now, Chair, I have a follow-up question. The last time that the CS was before this House, on the 27th of March 2024, we had a conversation here, and I was very happy with what she said regarding revocation and returning that land to. I wrote to the Cabinet Secretary responsible for land, because even after her pronouncements, we could see that there was still development going on at the property. And she wrote back to me on the 13th of May 2024, saying that she's following up, and in fact that she was still, the position of the ministry was that that title was going to be revoked. So now that she's here, and she had made that promise before this House, I would want her to give the House an update on the process of revocation of the title that had been issued to a private developer over the land on which Tomboya Social Hall sits. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS.
The first question supplementary to that is how much time I need. Sometimes it's quite difficult because I would, when a file is removed from its usual place, then it becomes a bit difficult to tell how how much time you will need, but possibly we can work with another 30 days. We can work with another 30 days. And maybe the Honorable Senator, if you have some details in respect of those parcels, you could give me for purposes of reconstruction, because if I cannot get my file, then I would be able to get useful assistance by any document that speaks to the title for purposes of reconstruction. So 30 days, we are working hard to get the file. Then the last one is on Tomboya. It is true, I think if after my pronunciation, my statement to this plenary, my office started working on the revocation process. It is a process that requires at least maybe about 90 days to 4 months, because one, you have to write to the holders of that title and call for it. We've already done that. But before we could proceed with gazettement of the need to revoke, we were served with the proceedings of the High Court. I believe, Honorable Senator, you are aware. The case number, I had asked for, there is an order for status quo, but I'm still looking at ways of fulfilling what I stated on this floor. But there is a court order. These people have gone to court. They are not relenting, but the position of the ministry is that whichever way, this property is not transferable, because it's a secured and preserved space for town hall. So whichever, and we have already filed sub-statements to court to respond to that effect. So in my view, the property is still secure. The court order was this case number in the Environment and Land Court 0E053 of 2024, filed by Ngami Properties Limited against the minister and the cabinet secretary. Rather, the status. The order was issued on that day, and this is maybe what is relevant, that there shall be a status quo, and we can maybe forward this. It is part of the annexures. If it is not, I will forward a copy of this order, Honorable Speaker, for record, for purposes of record.
Thank you. So 30 days to get the response on question on the first limb of your question. Now, Senator Abraham Miraji, do you have any supplementary question? Where is she? Senator Ngatana, you have any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you again for giving me this opportunity to interrogate. Mr. Speaker, the first and second questions with regard to Isli open air market and Isli social hall, the minister has asked for more time and indicated 30 days. Now, that brings the further question, because what we know is that the ministry spent a lot of resources to digitize lands records. And in fact, at some point, the ministry had indicated that Nairobi had been completed. So we just want to know what is the status as far as that about looking for a file not being in its place. What does it mean? Does it mean the whole program failed, or what is exactly the status of the digitization program? Because resources were spent, assurances were given, and now it seems we've gone back to the same many years we used to have files getting lost. Maybe the minister can clarify. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kavindu.
Kindly, Speaker, ask her first. Let her come first and then I'll come. Let me prepare.
No, it's up to me to decide the senator to speak first, and I've chosen you this time around.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, my question is not in line with what is going on, but I wanted to know from the CS. And first of all, congratulations for your coming back. You've been really good on your work, and we congratulate you for your good work that you are doing. If the rest of the CSs were like you, Kenya would be good. But I wanted to know, Madam CS, Honorable CS, if it is in line with the law for a cooperative society of lands not to hold a AGM meeting for 5 years and no action is taken. I'm struggling with Katelembu land, Madam Speaker and Madam CS, and last time we were together, I also raised that issue with you. I don't know how you can assist me with Katelembu issues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Beatrice Agola.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to emphasize on the earlier concern of Senator Mungatana, is that reports have been given to us in this House about 3 counties that were where the pilot scheme for digitization of the ministry was done and was reported to have been complete. So I was wondering how then we go about looking for files. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to know from the CS what steps the ministry is taking to secure open grounds in this city, as was in the initial development plan and on other cities too. How secure are our open grounds from encroachment?
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Yeah, the first question I think is from Honorable Mungatana regarding digitization, how far we are. It is true the digitization process started in Nairobi registry. How then does that not help the question of missing files? Before you digitize, you need the files to be able to get that information and load it into the information management system. If you don't have the file, the hard copy file, then you have no information to put. So there are still a few parcels where the files are not available. The deed file, the correspondence file, if those in that hard copy material is not there, then you don't have that in the system. So that is maybe the response to why am I still speaking to a missing file. Ordinarily, for now, even when we have information in the system, because we still have the hard copies, we re-verify just to avoid any mistake. But in this particular case, we don't have any information in the information management system. That is our Adisasa, and we also can't get the hard copy. So, but we will find them. Normally, sometimes they disappear completely. And that's why I requested support from the owner of that question, Honorable Senator Sifuna, so that if we cannot get, then the people interested or the owners of the property, we request for information from them and documentation, then we'll put it in the system, and then we can be able to gazette the reconstruction and loss of the titles. And therefore, on question of then general digitization, it's work in progress. I'm in Nairobi. Nairobi is at 98%. We are also working in Murang'a. We've gone live in Murang'a. Isiolo we will be launching Isiolo anytime soon. It's just time availability. And then Mombasa, we are at the tail end, maybe at 80%. We obviously are a long way to go because you know the number of registries are more than 80. Operation ones are about 70, I think 73. My land registrar is not here today. He had another commitment, but what we are saying is that I did tell this house through the vetting that I need about 34 billion shillings to digitize the entire country. The information system is simply now at about 5 counties in terms of digitization. Because the hardest stations are Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and the others are, maybe in Kiambu, Murang'a. Those are where we have a lot of them, land titling has already happened. So we still need a lot of time and money. I had said if I got the budget, within 4 years, we can finish. So that's where we are.
We now move to question.
I think there was a question on Katerombo from my good friend, Honorable Senator
Yes, if
Kavidu.
Honorable CS, if in a position to respond, you may proceed, because it's not a supplementary.
Yes. I would just advise the Honorable Senator, through you, Speaker, that this is a matter that we could write to the Minister of Cooperatives and SMEs, because they have regulatory instruments that can direct AGM to be carried out. So people should not be held. Many land buying companies, like other public companies, take forever to, and they do funny businesses there. Even when they call AGM, they buy out some members and the AGM doesn't go well. But under the supervision of the government, national government, through the Ministry of Cooperative, that can be done, and done in a proper way. So we can have a conversation, but you could actually go direct to the Minister for Cooperative, and they'll be able to help that cooperative society. Thank you. If you need my support, I'm available.
Thank you, Honorable CS. We will now move to question number 071 by the Senator for Kirinyaga County, Senator James Mrango. You may proceed to ask your question, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, my question was, could the Cabinet Secretary state the number of persons classified as landless, commonly referred to as squatters in Kirinyaga Central Constituency, Kirinyaga County? B, what measures has the Ministry put in place to ensure that all squatters across the county, and particularly those in colonial settlements villages along Mount Kenya Forest in Kirinyaga County, are resettled? C, could the Cabinet Secretary confirm when these quotas will be settled, including when they shall be issued with title deeds? And that's my question, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Thank you. The Honorable Senator for Kirinyaga County, Senator James Murango, is requesting for information on how many people are landless, or people commonly known as squatters. I will start with that question. The classification of people as landless and commonly known as squatters is inaccurate, because landless is different from squatters. And in our view, my view, according to the Oxford Learner's Dictionary, I took time to seek this so that I can also have a better clarity. The word landless is an adjective that means not owning land. Therefore, in our context, a landless person is one who does not own land. And basically, in this country, I think those are the majority. Therefore, in our context, this person who doesn't own land, the Land Act number 6 of 2012 defines then a squatter as a person who occupies land that legally belongs to another person or entity without that person's consent. And therefore, these two terms cannot be used interchangeably. One is a squatter on a land that is known who is the owner, Is it a private land? You have a squatter on a private land or on a public land, but you are squatting. Landless is obviously somebody who, maybe in the future, they will own land. We don't have data of those kind of people because really they are the majority, and we can't have, you don't have land. Yeah, but tomorrow you may have land. So I think normally the concern of the government is squatters, who become a problem to private property and also a problem to public property. The ministry has database of persons classified, does not have database of persons then therefore clarified as landless or squatters in the country. Settlement of deserving cases is undertaken as need arises. The settlement programs are, however, subject to availability of public land, because sometimes we settle them on public land, and availability of funds, because sometimes, of course, we buy land for money, land for settlement. The ministry has so far, since independence, settled 301,872 families in 463 settlement schemes. You may not have asked this information, Senator Murango, but indulge me to give the Senate that information through your question. And therefore, we are talking of a total of 1.288,244 hectares of land that the government has given out for settlement, meaning a total of 320.25 acres of land across the country. And this is a big achievement by the government, and this has occurred in 26 counties within the country. In the last 3 years, the ministry has settled 16,376 families in a total of approximately 21,000 hectares of land across 10 counties. Currently, the ministry has no settlement programs in Kirinyaga Central, because I think one question was in relation to Kirinyaga Central constituency of Kirinyaga County. However, colonial settlement villages are a phenomenon inherited at independence. In Kirinyaga County, there are 46 colonial villages with an estimated 5,231 households as shown in Table 1.